Hi,
Well,
how are you?
outfit, you take the cake. You've got the best outfit of the last 2 days of press that I've been doing. I'm not
Oh,
quite sure
good.
what you're wearing or what I should make of this, but You've won the contest.
Well, thank you so much. If you can't be good looking, you just got to try and look as good as you can, right?
Right. And what's the red bandana for? What does that
Oh,
signify?
oh no, it's just a little, pop in the color, just
Okay,
to,
okay.
and
And
kind of matches with the theme. It's Christmas time.
who did the artwork behind you, the skeleton in particular?
Yes. So these are by an artist named Autumn, and I can't find her. A lot of people ask where they can get these, and I don't know. And then the one behind me is Corey Clark, the singer of Warrior Soul. So
Okay.
mhm. Well, we are honored to have you on with us today because when we see your name, we know that we're going to get a good movie. We're going to get a wild, fun movie, and then we see Pierce Brosnan getting a little bit of a James Bond back with Southern Pride, and we're so excited. It's so good, and you got to be excited to unveil this to the world, right?
I am exactly excited. Yeah, it was a lot of fun down there in New Orleans and the Mississippi Gulf Coast with this
Mhm.
particular cast and this particular story and a script by a masterful, entertaining
Yes.
screenwriter, Richard Wank, who just knows how to off people in ingenious ways, at least up on the
Yeah.
screen. Um, and great locations, wonderful film crew. Yeah, it was a pleasure
Mhm.
making the whole movie.
Well, as we know, being on movie sets isn't always as fun as we'd imagined it as maybe a kid or something. But this one actually looked like it was kind of a little bit of a joy to me because there were so many scenes that are just like, oh, that's fun. And when you finish each one, you must have felt just a good sense of, oh, we got this, right?
Yeah, but it was also the cast. I mean, I was lucky to be blessed with a great set of characters and a great set of actors playing them. Uh, Pierce Brosnan brings so much baggage and skill to every part that he plays. He's probably his two greatest performances, I would say, are in Matador, where he played a
Yeah.
hitman who had lost his mojo, and second, I would say, is Fast Charlie, where he plays a hitman who wants to hold on to his mojo, but finds it slipping away from him. And then James Caan, of course, his last ever performance. What a
Mhm.
pleasure to work with him and to be able to say that I captured, the last character that he etched for us all. And then, surprise, surprise, Marina Baccarin, when
Yes.
we lost our actress just before we were starting to shoot, and Morena came in, and it was a fortuitous exchange of personalities because she turned out to be just perfect playing Marcy opposite Pierce Brosnan. I don't know, the chemistry between those two was something magical on and off screen.
Oh yeah, she's amazing. I was lucky enough to host a panel with her, and she's wonderful. And Pierce, we've had on the show, but I do have to ask about James Caan since it was his last role. Do you have a particular memory of working with him that just kind of stood out to you, where I'm always going to remember that?
Yeah, I'll always remember the little kid in the candy store that arrived in New Orleans ready with a big smile to go back to work again after being out for more than a year. That's what I
Mhm.
remember. The glee with which he was looking forward to getting back on a film set and working his magic. Um, yeah, that I'll always remember. Um, During editing, I'm looking at the film, and I'm realizing how utterly true his performance as a dementia sufferer is.
Mhm.
And I was suddenly, it hit me that maybe the performance that was off screen was the real performance, that he was
Yeah.
keeping what was really going on with his life from us. That
Mm-hmm.
that in fact we were making a documentary of sorts, that he was drawing on what he was going through and sharing it with us for eternity.
Mm-hmm.
Because I just had that feeling that maybe, you know, that's such a brilliant portrayal. He catches the fleeting nature of when memory and connection are fading. He catches it so brilliantly. But maybe
Oh yeah.
that's just because he was, you know, one of the greatest actors ever that I could ever work with, right at the prime, the end of his acting career. I don't know, but these are questions that have gone
Oh
through my,
yes.
you know, then and now.
Mm-hmm. Well, and you would know you've worked with the best. And of course, a lot of people look up to you and they think, I want to be able to tell stories like this. And it's almost impossible to do on your level. But what kind of advice do you give to those filmmakers that want to follow in your footsteps?
I would give the same advice that was given to me when I was first starting out, and went to a series of so-called underground films made by artists. And afterwards, I hung around, and the guys that put on the movies said they called themselves film directors. And they said, our motto is anyone can make a movie. And I think that now, with this machine,
Yeah.
it's
Mm-hmm.
completely true. You know, you can write your script, you can film it, you can edit it, and then you can monetize it, all with your you know, little phone here. And I'm seeing, as a result of being in a little group called the Smartphone Film Festival out of Sydney, Australia, I've just seen the most amazing invention by people who don't know anything except what they've learned on TikTok about telling stories and juxtaposing images with sound, who don't have any money, who you would never think were going to be, you know, master filmmakers. But I've seen the most amazing stories rendered by these so-called no ones who,
Mm-hmm.
you know, who have access to simple technology. So, you know, I'd say the same thing. Anyone can do it. You can do it. Your dreams of making the movie that you've always dreamed about, it can come true. Because you don't have to say that I can't get the money, I can't get the actors, I can't get, you know, the technology. You can. You totally
Mm-hmm.
control it nowadays. And
Yes.
guys, those two Australians who made Talk to Me, the Raka twins
Yes.
from Adelaide. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
these guys made a huge career out of their phones.
Mm-hmm.
And then they they've gone on to a film career with that brilliant film.
Yes, and what a great one it was. And you know, my co-host, you may be familiar with Drew Pearson. He's one of our Dallas Cowboys greats, NFL great. Caught the Hail Mary, but we all know the Hail Mary term, and we love to ask people their Hail Mary moment. So he wanted me to ask you your Hail Mary moment, that moment in your life or career where you just had to go for it and it worked out for you. What do you suppose that was for you?
Um, well, let me think. Uh,
It's probably been a few.
there's been a few. They started back in 1969 when I made my first short film.
Yeah.
Um, but the latest Hail Mary moment was on this film when
Mm.
5 days before shooting, we were told there was no money. Movie
Oh,
wasn't going ahead.
oh no.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. So we had a crew, we had actors, we had everything. Well, we lost our lead actress. And Richard
Mm.
Wink and I got together and sort of talked about the possibilities. And we decided we'd go for it. And so we said to the producers, well, can you find the money for the first week? And each week we'd say, can you find the money for the next week? And
Hmm.
on and on. Now, if you've seen the film, you will have seen that it opens with a long series of
Hmm.
credits for executive producers. There are 26 of them.
Oh my gosh.
26 executive producers, because each one of them put in just a little bit more into the pot to keep that movie going. So the Hail
Mm.
Mary was give up or push on. And we pushed on, and the movie that we made is called Fast Charlie. And here it is going out all around the world any moment now.
I love it, and I know people are going to love it. But part of that is because you had that drive and that persistence to do it, which you always have to do. But in this case, you really had to step up. Is there
We
something that you
really
kept
had
in
to step
mind?
up. Yeah. We really had to step
Yeah.
up. We had to shoot faster. We had to get everything done much quicker. We had to pare the script down so that we really concentrated on those things that were important. It meant that we had less big action sequences and
Hmm.
ones that were reined in. We spent more time on story, character, on relationship, and on humor, trying to make it funny. So the weight of the movie, the movie we were making changed in response to the come to Jesus Hail Mary moment that we faced, which was crash through or crash.
Yeah. I love that. Well, yeah, you just have to keep that in mind that here we go. We're going to do this or it's not going to happen. And you probably had to do that several times, right?
In my life, yeah, but none so extreme, you know.
Right.
I had to wait until I was this age
Yes.
to really, you know, face the mortality of the movie that I was making on, as opposed to just my simple mortality, of course, that we all face. Because
Yes.
the movies become our family, our children. I mean, you know, I
Mhm.
care about every one of the films. That's why I go, and I'll be seen on Friday at the Monica Theater in Santa Monica, California,
Oh, good.
checking up on the focus
Yes.
and the sound, and making sure, even if there's only two people in the audience, that the movie's being played just how we meant it to be.
I love it. And well, last thing, because it is a very special movie. What is it that you think that will always stay with you about this experience? And you know, besides the obvious of having to do the Hail Mary for that.
Well, the Hail Mary is what will always stay with me, and um, what I think happened on this film was there were so many obstacles to getting it made and doing it in the way that we wanted to do it, the way we'd planned to do it, the way it needed to be done, that I just said to myself every day, I am not going to let anything get in the way of me doing this movie and doing honor to the cast and the crew and the story and what money we do have. I'm not going to give up. So that made me just grab hold of the film and tenaciously just keep pushing until it met its audience, which it's about to do.
Yes. Well, we're so glad that you did it because it's such a fun, cool movie. We tell everybody to check it out. We really appreciate your time and hope to talk to you again sometime soon.
Yes, and I'll be back, and I hope you keep those paintings up there behind you.
I certainly will. You'll recognize them when you see them. I know it. Okay,
Where are
wonderful. Well,
you?
thank
Where
you
are you
so much.
sitting, Paul?
I'm deep in the heart of Texas in Dallas.
Oh, okay. Right. All right. Speak to you later.
Okay, thank you so much. Appreciate you, sir.
Bye.